This is not your first rodeo.
No, it definitely isn't our first rodeo. It's our third because this is episode three of the Cooldown Lap with your host, Jogpaul and
Dr. Garrett, welcome back to the show, everybody. We're excited to jump back into things. We delayed this episode to give ourselves a little bit more ammo to talk about, to make sure the shakedown was complete before we started rambling on about all of the exciting happenings that have been going on since we were on the podcast last. So
yeah.
today we're going to break down a few exciting things, all the way from the last few liveries that have been dropped since we last chatted. And then we're going to dive into the shakedown, some of the first scenes that we all care about, that first time we get to see the cars on track. Now, we know it's not the be all end all, but it's exciting. It's fun. They throw curveballs at us, and it gives us a little bit more ammo and fuel for the fire for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it. A lot has been shaken down and a lot's been going on. So let's take a look. Let's first talk about Ferrari and the liveries. Let's get the liveries out of the way because I feel like there was a few drops, and the first one is a Ferrari. Garrett, what do you think? I'm gonna pull up the picture right now as we speak. Here we are. This is what the Ferrari livery looks like. And personally, my first take, it just reminded me of Niki Lauda's car. I don't know, just like a throwback, a lot of white. I don't know what extent they're going to please HP and the fans, but
Well,
they've gone to this
they
extremity.
heard that everyone else was running a few more horsepowers. They slapped a few on the car. They threw the HP logo on there. They thought that made them faster. Must be the horsepower. So, they're getting creative as far as how they're trying to keep up with the other teams. And it's a nice looking livery. And they have some weird parts of the car. Like I don't know if you've seen this serrated fin on the back. Like if
Yeah.
you pull out a little bit and see the back wing. No, not that shot. One from the side. You'll see there's almost like a step down serrated look on the wing itself. I haven't seen that on any of the other cars. If you
Yeah.
look up right by the HP, you'll see it steps down.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So just kind of like, yeah, right there, right?
There's some weirdness to the car, and the livery really highlighted that for me. It's a pretty car. It's a nice looking car. To your point, it looks like Niki Lauda's car from back in the day, but it really forces us to see one hilarious part of the car, which is Lewis Hamilton sitting in it.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Lewis Hamilton, I gotta pull this up. I think we both saw the same meme, and it kind of just stuck with us. You know what I mean? I think it's over here.
Boom. Well,
Boom. Um,
beautiful looking car, but when you throw Lewis with a yellow helmet in it, looks like a fried egg.
the white, the yellow, the red. It's a fried egg. It's a fried egg in a red plate.
Hopefully, it's
10 out of 10.
a fast fried egg, but until proven otherwise, that's a fried egg. And I
That
think the design team probably was swinging for the fences, and they might have missed a little bit on doing their due diligence. Not the worst, but pretty funny.
pretty, yeah. Just a tad bit, but honestly, good throwback. They did the same with I guess, their suits as well. Big throwback there. It's hit or miss. A lot of people missed, but say it's a miss. But for me, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But
It's a pretty
let's
car.
let's get into Mercedes. We didn't talk about that.
The front runners for the season, the people have chosen them as the winners before the season's even started, before
Yeah,
the liveries are dropped, before the cars are even on track. So, what does the livery show? Are they keeping up with the hype?
they're talking about the car a little bit. They got the AMG logo. Um, Honestly, I didn't like it when I first saw it. I thought there was too much going on with the car, the stripes, the stars, just a bit much, but it's grown on me. I'm starting to like this. The more I look at it, the more it simmers, the cleaner it looks. And I don't know if you feel the same way about this.
Yeah, man, I like it. It's a clean car. It looks like what they brought to the track. It's German engineering. Uh it's artwork to match, and it's clean. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm
you
dis
know what?
I'm disappointed it looks as fast as it looks. Was really hoping it would look a lot slower and it would be a lot slower, but we've got high hopes for George and Kimmy this year based on how it looks.
I don't know. They didn't slap any HP horsepower stickers on, so it might be a little bit slower, but
They have enough. They don't have to throw horsepower on the design as well.
maybe.
I'm not sure about the ugly Microsoft logo at the top.
Yeah, what's up with these computer companies just like slapping their logos out there, man?
I'm not sure about it, but that's my only gripe with it. The rest of it's clean, and then the Microsoft logo, it's like, why? Why?
Oh my God. You know what? Like when I saw the kind of the stripes on the side, it reminded me of the Adidas logo. And I think a lot of people said that. They're like, "Oh, it's the Adidas logo because they're doing the teams now, the suits and the uniforms, but it's actually the AMG logo and it's supposed to be seen from up top."
Yeah, I saw that picture.
So, I mean, when you look at it that way, it looks cool. But yeah, no,
From the
I
side,
think
it's an Adidas shoe until proven otherwise.
it is. It literally looks like an Adidas shoe from the side until proven otherwise. But that's another meme we might get into. But the last car is, I guess, the Alpine that we got to talk about.
Yeah, especially with Briatore throwing some pressure at the team.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't just end with a pretty car. They got to have some speed to back it up.
Yeah, yeah. Briatore has pretty much said this car is set for this year to do well. There are no excuses for it to go any other way. Big words, big expectations, and same livery.
Hey man, if you
Oh,
change less shit, if you copy and paste, maybe they spent more time on the aerodynamics than they did delivery. We can only
hey,
hope.
I honestly never really disliked this livery. It's unique, it's different, it has nice colors to it, it's bright. I liked it. I think they got it right the first time. They didn't have to change too much, but it's no different to me.
Alpine's going to be the new Red Bull as far as the livery, just Control C, Control V the whole way through.
Yeah, yeah,
Why
and
change something that's broken?
man, but like look at the 2021 livery. Like I like that. That was cool.
It was cool. They lost it in the middle there when they were trying to drop some weight. And now it's just the exact same thing from 2025 to 2026. What did they change the blue? Like a tint, make it a little bit less shiny?
It's the biggest thing as a sponsor because I think the sponsor's color is pink, so they're kind of
Yeah,
bringing both of them into it. Whereas the
blue and pink.
21, the blue and red was pretty cool.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, fair enough.
What do you think about Briatore dropping the gauntlet?
Honestly, from we'll get into the shakedown a little bit, but he's he's to a certain degree right there. This is their year. They completely gave up on 2025. Well, not gave up, but they had zero focus on 2025. Their whole focus was 2026. So if you're going to take a whole year to, I mean, technically sacrifice a year, there is no excuse. Like you need to pull through and, bring your car up when you're dead last. Like, they have everything going for them. The engine is there. The car is all ready to go, apparently, according to the shakedown that we see. It's just a matter of are they going to be able to bring themselves up into the midfield? And, some are speculating, to the top of the midfield.
You think they have
That's
the drivers to do it in Pierre and Franco?
I don't know about Colapinto. I've always felt like he was backed by sponsors' money, which is why he's given a strong opportunity. Pierre Gasly, I have hopes in. I think if there is going to be a driver that's going to pull through for them, it's going to be him.
Well, Franco drove his ass off in his one opportunity in 2024. That's what solidified his seat. And he's kind of hung on ever since. So he's got a drive in him if he has the right car under him, but looked like he flamed out last year. So
Yeah, yeah. Last year, being my first season watching Formula One, I cannot go any further past that. But from what I saw last year, I wasn't too impressed, which is why even in my predictions this year, he isn't doing all that well. So we'll see how it goes. But let's go on into the shakedowns. Did we miss anything from the liveries?
no, man, I think we're done with talking about pretty cars. I think now we got to see how they work. That's really what's important, right? We got to see the
Yeah.
cars heading out on track. And really that's what we care about. Now, the shakedown, obviously everyone's sandbagging, everyone's running a race plan to understand what their cars can do and what we're expecting to see for this year. But it's our chance to start to see some of the angles, see some of the games that teams are playing, and see what they brought to the table.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And day one, we saw it right off the bat. Mercedes and Kimi and George coming in with just that confidence. Like, I don't even know if you saw the post shakedown interview. It almost seemed like George was holding back a smile. Like he knows he has a rocket and like he's
Some,
playing it
conf
cool, but like
some
you could just
confident arrogance.
yeah, yeah. I was actually listening to a podcast where it's like George has this like just like this confidence in him as in he's almost like a world champion already. He's walking that walk now. He's walking with his chest a little bit more, wide, more open, a lot of confidence, which it speaks volumes because a lot of that does transfer into the way he drives. And if he's given a rocket ship, I don't see why he's not going to be contending for that WDC.
Big words early on, but give him a good enough engine, you put him in the right spot. I think he could do it. He's willing to throw down and fight with some of the leaders, so I could see
Some
it.
some of
I
the
could see
leaders
it.
being your boy Max Verstappen.
100%. Who else did I talk about? I'm biased as hell.
Fernando Alonso.
That's
Fernando Alonso.
I'm biased as hell. That's why I'm here. Um, before we even get to the shakedown, right? Like, the fuck is happening with Williams?
Ooh, right. They didn't even make it to the shakedown.
We
Oh
got 10
man.
teams showing up and one who's saying, "Yeah, we'll see you guys in Bahrain."
Yeah, yeah. James Vowell's words didn't age so well because he was again like almost like Briatore, like very locked into 2026, and it seems like now that 2026 is here, things are falling behind. Not a good look. Not a good look when you've promised a lot, and
Yeah,
um
wasn't the quote in 2025, break everything. This is the year that we like don't care about. It's all about 2026. We're gonna come back stronger. This is gonna be our year. And then
here we
still
are. They're
haven't
not
seen him
ready.
showing up, right? They're
Yeah.
still sitting in the bus, car on a plane.
It's unfortunate, and like I was talking to Garrett before this. Is like it's unfortunate. Like if my two teams, like Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, my two drivers, Williams, Aston, just not looking the best so far. But with Williams, they didn't make it due to their car being overweight, not passing the crash test. A few technical things going on with that car that have held them back, but it seems like they've been all good in terms of the mechanical, the physical side, where they're able to simulate these tests on a simulator. Now, I don't know how that reliable that is to real life testing, but they are going to be simulating a lot of this shakedown that needed to happen with a physical car. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe they're buying more time to produce, give us that rocket that they promised, but
Well,
it never a good look.
people have thrown out the rumors that this is James Bowles' master plan, that you know, he thinks his car is so good that he's telling everyone it's overweight and telling everyone they're behind. Then he's going to show up on day one and kick the shit out of everyone. We don't know, right? F1's this game of how much can I bend the rules? How much can I like fake bluff, lie, and cheat to make my like get there? And we don't know if this is the start of that or if this is truly them struggling. We won't know until we see the cars going, but that's the drama.
I mean, Williams has everything it takes. It has the legacy, it has the drivers, and it has the engine now. It has the team is there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's all there for the taking. It's just everything is clicking, and if that is the case, like I wouldn't be surprised. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it just falls through to that. But I have also a lot of hope for Williams, more so than Alpine. I'm sorry if that's a personal take. But I hope that's the case. I really do.
And what do you think about teams like McLaren and Aston Martin waiting until later days in the shakedown to even show up? Are they just trying to keep their cards close to their chest, or you think they're, running a risky delay as far as collecting data and getting what they need out of the whole week?
Well, unfortunately, I have to say this as an Aston Martin fan. I think for Aston Martin, it was pushing it to the wire. I was mentioning this earlier. Adrian Newey's design, which has obviously everyone kind of worried, panicked. They're like, "What is this car? Why does it not look like any other car?" But he did push it to his last design to get it on track, get it made, and that's why the actual crash test was pushed back, which obviously that was delayed. There was a few delays. But for a team like McLaren, I think they're just keeping those cards close to their chest. Like I think McLaren is also going to be a rocket ship. They have every reason to be. They have the drivers, they have the car, they have. And you know what? It's weird that they seem like the underdog when they just won the WDC, and everyone is talking about Red Bull and and Mercedes when McLaren has already won. It has two of the best lineup for drivers, and nobody's talking about them. They're quiet.
Lando Norris's dad's point, no one remembers the person who came in second, and they're the team who came in first, right? Like, there's something weird about it. There's something weird. The F1 community doesn't like either believe or respect the fact that they took it home, and so I think they're holding that against them this year. It'll be interesting, right, to see whether they stand up and say we're the champions, we're going to show you again, or to see if the papaya rules hold them back. You've got
Yeah.
the defending world champion, and you've got Lord Piastri trying to make his Sith debut and cut the team down at the knees and take one for himself.
Can we talk about the McLaren livery for 1 second? Because I just think this livery is gorgeous, and I think it represents just what's happening with the whole Oscar Piastri arc, with him just going evil and revenge mode and Sith mode, whatever you want to call it. But
Well, he's
he's gonna
entering his villain arc for sure, man.
he definitely is, and he's gonna do well. Like he is gonna do well. We already know that. A lot of people are actually even, saying he might be the contender for the WDC. Which, when I watch all these podcasts, it's all these like, pundits, these, obviously people that are in the industry for so long that are saying McLaren's going to still win, and the fans are obviously saying otherwise. But he's a top contender, and this livery is it feels like Oscar is going in Sith mode, and he's going to get his revenge, and it just looks so clean to me. I love it. I love it.
It's wild to me there's no orange on that car.
And you know what? I like it. They obviously have it on that McLaren logo over there, and I think that's enough orange. You know, away with a papaya. Bring out the Sith Lord.
They're
Oh,
gonna run a red stripe down the middle of it halfway through the season to show the lightsaber he chose.
yeah, yeah, straight up. But yeah, no. Most. I was just watching James Hinchcliffe saying, no, it's gonna be McLaren. Like that's the move. That's the opportunity there. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But going back to the shakedown,
Yeah, what do you
day
think?
one. We talked about Mercedes and Kimi. Um, Red Bull was out there as well. Cadillac was out there. Haas, Alpine. Quite a bit teams ran on day one. Few teams didn't. McLaren and Ferrari, Aston Martin, of course, and unfortunately, Williams. So, um, yeah, day one looked good. We
What'd you
didn't.
think? What'd you think? Were any front runners on day one to you, or was it just testing the waters?
Yeah, it's always hard to say. Like first day, especially shakedowns, like everyone is saying it's not about the speed, it's not about the laps, but it seems like everyone was really kind of honed in on on the speed, on the laps, who's doing what, who's spinning out, who's crashing. But you know what? Day one was a good success. I don't think there was too much drama day one. There was a lot of weather issues. I think throughout the week, a lot of strategy going on when the cars are actually going to come out, based off of if it's going to rain. The temperatures were pretty cold. that day as well. And when it comes down to like the average speed, I think from day one, I believe it was Hajar that got the set the fastest pace for that day. Hold on, I have it right over here. It was Hajar, George Russell, and Franco Colapinto, which were like the top three for day one.
Yeah, still
No,
miles off the pace for what we're going to see in testing and at the next race in Barcelona, but it's
yeah.
fun to see who's rising to the top. I think day two though is when we hit chaos.
Yeah, day two was a little bit more chaotic. I believe day two was when
A bunch of teams chose not to run. It started raining everywhere.
yeah, it started raining. Yeah, that's
Ferrari
right.
and Red Bull went out. One of the Red Bulls got put on the wall.
It was Hajar, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Hadjar put it in
Hajar.
the wall, and it was touch and go whether it would have compromised them for the rest of the week. So they were the Red Bull fans were getting ready to throw sticks and pick up pitchforks.
Man, the amount of memes that I saw that like, oh, like, Hajar's done, like, his seat's done, like, there's one meme I saw, somebody was like ripping a paper, it's like Hajar's contract, just ripped it in half.
Well, a lot of that goes back to Pierre Gasly's last season with Red Bull, where he crashed in the pre-season testing.
Yeah.
It seemed like that threw him off for the rest of the year. But I think what a lot of people are forgetting about Hadjar is he crashed on the formation lap in Melbourne and pretty well missed the first race of the season. He bounced back and put together a performance over the season that put him in a Red Bull. So, if anyone's going to bounce back from a little shunt into the wall, it's probably him.
Yeah,
So I'm not too worried. It fucked up our car, but I think we still got enough laps in and completed the run plan they were hoping to. So I'm not too worried. But yeah, man, day two, Ferrari got out, Red Bull got out, Charles
yeah.
took it in the morning, Lewis in the afternoon, and it was just kind of pumping laps. And at the
And
end of the day,
it's good that these cards obviously went out in the rain too, because that's valuable data for the teams to collect as well. So Ferrari obviously sent back out right away. Some of the laps, Verstappen, Leclerc, and Hadjar set some of the fastest laps. They weren't that fast, but I mean, considering the conditions, the lap times were set for that day.
what happened day three? Run us
Day
down.
three, we got Mercedes going out again. George Russell. We got the Racing Bulls. Arvid Lindblad getting out there.
Those are
Alpine.
his first laps of the whole shakedown, right?
What's that?
Was that Arvid's first run of the weekend or the week?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Before I think this is, yeah, for the shakedown. This was the first time he got out there, and then McLaren came out. So Lando Norris was driving the new shiny number one McLaren MCL 40, big fancy one on there. And yeah, just
The skinniest number one I've ever seen. You can barely tell it's number one.
yeah, and you know what? They were even in the I think when they were bringing the liveries out and stuff, they were just like flashing that number one everywhere, just so much pride and like, hey, we're number one. But yeah, I mean, they deserve it. Norris deserves it. And then we had Mercedes come out later with Kimi, and then Pierre Gasly came out for the first few laps, and Aston Martin, unfortunately, still day three, no sign of Aston Martin. My boys have not come out yet, but day three
I think people
was
were happy with the cars in day three, though. Like George got a bunch of laps in. He was happy with how it went, got a bunch of important data. Same with Kimmy. The Racing Bulls were happy with the car. Uh, and I think McLaren Norris was even more just surprised at how different it felt. Like I think they were finally
yeah,
starting to experience the difference in what the cars felt like last year to this year, and how energy was deployed differently, how they were going to have to drive for this year. So the
for
drivers are
sure.
starting to get a little bit more comfortable.
I think the biggest thing is these cars are going to be more fun for the drivers to drive. Lewis, I think, quoted that as well. He's like, this is going to be fun. It's going to be better to overtake. But he literally used the word fun. Like these cars are going to be fun to drive, right? Which is huge because I feel like the energy
They
does
have more
go.
control.
Yeah, yeah, they have more control. And I think Max actually talked about this in one of the podcasts he did was the downforce era of these previous generation car was just so uncomfortable to drive as a driver. The
It just crushed them
downforces,
into the floor.
they were having back pain. Like it was actually
Yeah.
painful for them to drive in some instances. I forgot what that term is when the car actually starts shaking and bouncing.
Porpoising.
Porpoising. Thank you. Porpoising. That just looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially when you're going around a corner. If your car's porpoising, you're pulling like 5 or 7 G's and bouncing. You'd feel like your neck was going to fall out your ass at that point.
Yeah,
That would not be fun.
you're pretty much getting jackhammered into the ground. Your spine is taking a beating. And tell me, doctor, how does that probably feel for you?
Feels terrible.
You're
See, I
like,
want them porpoising all the time because hopefully finding their way into my office, I'll make some good money off of them. But for their sake and their longevity in the sport, we want them gliding along like they're floating on a cloud.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, no, that is a huge statement. I think the car's gonna be smaller, more fun to pass, more fun to drive, and that should show on track. I think that is gonna show on track. It's gonna show a lot more confidence in the drivers, a lot more ability to maneuver the cars, and go for more fun overtakes that is, as a viewer, is gonna make more entertaining to watch. But I'm
And you throw
excited
some
for it.
control back in the driver's hands, and it's going to start highlighting who's actually a good driver and who's just moving a steering wheel. Who
Yeah,
can
yeah.
multitask, who can actually figure out strategy. And as I say that out loud, I'm sure that'll, lead back to the teams and who runs a good strategy department, whose engineer is really thinking on their feet as far as when they're deploying versus when they're defending. And, you know, I think there's more human error, but also human opportunity that exists, which is exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. 100%. Um, I think we're on what, day three or day
Day
four?
four, day four.
Day four. We have Lewis spun out on day four too, eh? I think that was a little bit of
I think I
uh
saw him 360 and keep going.
yeah, 360, keep going. Day
He's
four.
just doing donuts,
He's warming up the tires. He's warming up
warming
the
up the time.
tires. Um, but yeah, Ferrari was running it hard too. I think that was its third day on track.
And this is the day they're just pumping in laps.
Yeah, yeah. McLaren also out there. Mercedes, they were posting up some cool pictures of the car. Were they on track as well? I can't recall if they were on track. Um,
One of the most important things of the entire week happened on day four, though.
what was that?
Wasn't that the day that the Aston Martin showed up?
That is right. The most important day of the week, which shook up all the other cars. And my God, have I been loving the memes of like, when Adrian Newey's car shows up and all the other teams like, we're fucked. Like, oh my God, what do we do? What do
Yeah.
we do? What do we do? What do we
When
do?
when Adrian Newey and with a Honda engine shows up and their car looks completely different to yours, you
Yeah.
can be thinking one of two things. Either we nailed this and he fucked up, or we're fucked. And there's nothing in between because their car looked so different. We've yet to see the livery, sure it'll look beautiful, but even with its, dark winter coat on, that car looks different, man. The side pods are wild. They don't look like anyone else's car. The nose is fat and stubby. The suspension looks different.
It's good, man. It's a good looking
Different.
car. It looks different.
Different.
It got some good feedback from well, maybe not day four, but day five from Fernando Alonso.
Why? What happened on day four?
5 laps into the car, coming out on track, it did break down. And it is okay, everyone. This is the point of a shakedown. It is to shake the car down to find the problems and to reassure everyone it was some sensor issues. So it wasn't anything mechanically significant. It wasn't anything too extreme. Some sensors, some things that they could fix. The car was out the next day. It's okay, everyone. Calm down, everyone. Aston Martin is gonna do okay. Okay. So
But you wouldn't fight random people online about that, would you?
I no, I mean I may have said a few things online. I am a passionate fan of Formula One for Aston Martin, and I may have defended them a little bit, but it comes as a job, as a role, as a fan, and I think everyone takes pride in their team and defends them, including Lance Stroll. Okay, including Lance
You got to
Stroll.
be a true fan to defend Lance Stroll. So I think everyone can understand that.
Our Canadian boy, okay? I'm gonna keep going on the Canadian card.
Right, fair enough. All power
Um,
to you on that. And then we got Friday, last day of the shakedown. Um, a bunch of teams went out, and a bunch of teams got laps in.
that's right.
Where did everyone land? How did these teams shake out as far as number of laps they're throwing down? Uh, where did we end up? Because what from memory serves, Mercedes kind of blew everyone out of the water, put the most laps down. But there's a bit of a hierarchy, a top three we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I'll quickly pull up. This is a page that I've been following that has been showcasing a lot of this. So, we have it's just so funny. It says Go Williams, and they're at zero. So, I love that meme. Number one, we have Mercedes at 500 laps completed. Obviously, they've been out. They've been grinding. Car feels good. They've been working at it. Ferrari again have been going just as quick. Just as many laps, almost 437. Haas at 390. And then we have the remainder of the team: Alpine 345, Racing Bulls 321, Red Bull 303, and then McLaren 287, which I found a little bit interesting that they're running some less laps. But again, they're probably keeping those cards close to them. They know what they got. And then the remainder, Audi, Cadillac, Aston Martin with one of the fewest laps out there, and Williams. So I think Aston Martin,
Aston and Williams really trying hard to keep those cards close to their chest.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. They've got something really good. They're not gonna, lay it all out. They're gonna bring it in Australia, and they're gonna bring it hot, So don't you worry, Garrett. We're coming. We're coming.
Oh, it's funny.
Uh,
I think it's important though to realize I think consistency is a big part of this. I'm excited to see how how the number of laps run, the speeds start to play out once you see the cars on track and the in the Bahrain test. I think that there's something to be said about 500 laps. Like that's a ton of running, and I think everyone else kind of falling in the middle there. They're putting a lot of laps in. We'll see what that translates to for consistency, but got to get the
yeah.
data to start making the plan. So
Well,
it's
I
exciting
think
to see a bunch of laps get put down.
you were talking about it, right? Especially with the new combustion loophole that they found, were they gonna actually break down? And that was one of the concerns for not just you, but a lot of people on in F1 as fans. And you can see Mercedes, Alpine, you have McLaren, they're running a lot of laps. They're did good. Collectively they're close to what? I'm not gonna do the math real quick, but like almost close to 1,000 laps, and with a Mercedes engine. So when you look at it as a collective, as an engine supplier, they're looking solid, reliable. I think they're gonna do well in terms of reliability. And if they're getting the extra horsepower on top of that, maybe they did it. They might have just done it.
And we all know that Ferrari puts in or cranks the engine mode up quite a lot in these tests, and doesn't sandbag as hard as Mercedes. But the when you talk about 1,000 laps or so in Mercedes, let's not scoff at the fact that the Ferrari and the Haas put in just about as many laps. So
Yeah, yeah, and
something to be
and
said
now
about that Ferrari engine.
let's talk about the laps. I know these lap times don't really signify too much, but when we look at it, the top three fastest laps from the entire shakedown, number one, Lewis Hamilton.
Ferrari does
So
this every year. They're trying to give us that hope.
I've heard that they try hard during tests, and when it comes to the season, they kind of go the other
Fall
way. But
immediately flat. It's that hopium. They're trying to get you hooked on hope.
yeah. But Lewis Hamilton, number one, number two, George Russell, and then number three, we have Lando Norris. So again, the only outlier I see there is Lewis Hamilton, having being the person that put him P12 in my predictions. It
You're
seems a
hoping he slows down quite a bit.
yeah, I'm just hoping he does. But you know what? Leclerc went pretty quick as well. Haas did pretty well, like you mentioned. So the Ferrari engine may not be as slow as a lot of people anticipated, but we can't say anything right now. We do have to wait and see where these cars go. Um, yeah,
Exciting, man.
yeah,
Exciting.
very, very exciting.
The shakedown's done. We're not going to dive into every little piece of carbon fiber and plastic and metal on these cars because we do not claim to be as intelligent as Adrian Newey and see air or be an avatar, but there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the aerodynamics. I'm sure we can jump on 11 other podcasts or watch 10 hours of technical explanation, but I think the two of us will just wait until the cars go vroom vroom. We see some real lap times from these guys here coming up in the next couple of weeks. Anything else we're forgetting about that we want to talk about today?
No, I think you've nailed it. I think when it comes down to us, we like talking about the cars going fast around the circuit, and that's where we kind of limit ourselves. But yeah, I think we pretty much nailed everything for today.
You changing any of your predictions right off the bat? I know we're not locking them in until after the preseason test, but any big shakeups to what you put down last week?
That's actually a good question. I would put a little bit more faith in the Alpine based off of what the engines are doing. So, as much as I said, about Franco off the bat, and him being so low, but if the car is the way it is, if the engine is the way it is, and if Briatore puts that pressure down and it goes somewhere, they might be doing better than I expected them to do. But um, yeah, that's the only thing that I can see that's standing out from the shakedown and the amount of laps that the Mercedes did as a collective engine supplier.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
how
with
about
you.
you?
I'm
Any
with you.
changes there?
I'm with you. I'm cautiously optimistic that my boy is still going to be high up there, but the Mercedes is scaring the shit out of me a little bit.
They're doing something. They're doing something. And
They're
the
too
only
confident. I'm not here for it. I need them to ease up a little bit.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. And again, the only time we're gonna find out is during that testing that's coming up. Do you know when the testing is actually?
Let's find out.
So the testing in Bahrain is gonna, show us a lot. Uh,
February 11th to 13th, and then 18th to 20th, it looks like.
and is that the first one public? 11 to 13, is that public?
So you're asking me questions way above my pay grade.
That's totally okay. I thought you had it open. That's why. But I think one of these is public, or they're both public. It's on the calendar. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of information regardless.
Yeah,
If
especially
it's
with how much
public,
info we got from the super secret behind closed doors testing from this week.
wow, so behind closed doors. I feel like the first 2 days they were actually running the metrics and the numbers and the lap times. Did you know that?
Yeah,
It was being leaked, and I'm like, bro, that's so secret. Just the data just being exported to the world. Awesome. Might as well show it at this point. Might as well just televise it.
100%. They could have made so much money if they did, but
I think
I'm
they're
not F1 as a
yeah.
company.
Yeah, they're building the hype behind I guess secret testing. So, well, maybe we can pass off that information and our opinion to F1, and they'll change it up for us next year.
Yeah, next year we'll run the shakedown.
100%. 100%. But I think that's it for us.
With that, let's wrap it up. Give
Let's
people a break from us for another week, and then we'll jump back in next week.
100%. Well, with that, we'll sign off. Be sure to like, subscribe. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music. all the platforms. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week on the Cooldown Lap podcast.